Hi, this is Renee Stanley, the Movie Review Relay, and today we're talking about The Roses. It's a satirical comedy film, and it's directed by Jay Roach from a screenplay by Tony McNamara. It's based on a 1981 novel, The War of the Roses by Warren Adler, and it's a remake of the 1989 film. We'll talk about that at the end of this program. Now, this particular version of The Roses stars Benedict Cumberbatch, Olivia Colman, Andy Samberg, and Kate McKenna. And of course, there are other people in the cast, but those are the ones that we're going to talk about today. Benedict Cumberbatch is TheRoses. He's a successful architect, and he's Ivy's husband. A lot of us know him, let's face it. He's done a lot of great films. But the younger people, I'm just going to say it, know him as Doctor Strange and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Olivia Colman is a wife. She plays Ivy Rose, and she's trying to be a restaurateur, entrepreneur. You must understand that Olivia Colman has a lot of accolades, but she did win an Oscar. If you remember her from the movie The Favorite in 2018, Emmys, Golden Globes, you name it. She has several accolades under her belt. Andy Samberg plays Barry, the Rose's friend, and Theo's divorce lawyer. You guys know Andy Samberg. I'm laughing because you have to know him if you're into comedy. He was a cast member and a writer for the NBC sketch comedy show Brooklyn Nine-Nine and for Saturday Night Live. We loved him in that. It's very funny. Kate McKenna was also from Saturday Night Live fame. We know her. She plays Andy Samberg's wife, Amy. She's also friendly with the Roses. And we saw her recently in Barbie. She's another very talented lady. Her work on Saturday Night Live is just about legend because she's done so many impersonations. I mean, she's impersonated so many pop culture figures and politicians and musicians. She's so funny. And Allison Janney plays Eleanor. She's Ivy's divorce lawyer. Allison Janney is such a great choice because a lot of us remember her from her role on the NBC television series The West Wing. But she also won an Academy Award for Best Actress back in 2017. She was in a movie starring Margot Robbie, and it was called I, Tanya. Margot Robbie was wonderful in that picture too. All right, so The Roses is released by Searchlight Pictures. The first thing you notice about The Roses is how beautiful the cinematography is. This movie was set on the West Coast. The first thing you see is the Golden Gate Bridge. So it's beautiful water, sunsets, the landscaping. As a matter of fact, the house in question that they fight over, and this is something that's consistent throughout both movie versions. The house is the main thing that they're fighting over. There's something inside of this house that they're holding emotionally close to them. They don't want to let it go. And the house and the set design is just beautiful. It's all modernly done with the European cabinetry, all hardwood floors. It looks like a huge mansion, maybe, I don't know, 20,000 feet. It's off of a cliff. Everything about the house is exquisite. The first thing you would think is, oh, this is the lifestyle of the rich and famous. Because by this time, Theo, the husband, and Ivy, the wife, have accumulated such wealth that they have this beautiful house on the side of a cliff. It's so gorgeous. And the director does a wonderful job in bringing out the eccentricities of the couple. The fact that they love to have these little dinner parties. And inside the dinner party, they're always inviting people that they know are business associates, whether they work for them or they're lawyer friends. And they come over and basically they seem to observe that the marriage of Theo and Ivy is deteriorating. But they think it's a joke because they think, well, that's just their dry humor. Theo and Ivy are always bickering, and they just assume it's part of their relationship. It just keeps them together. That's how they stay together. They make jokes. Sometimes they're very provocative, let's say that. But they're thinking their neighbors and their friends that this is how they act, nothing going on here. But we're in the 2025 version of The Roses. So what happens is Theo is not just humiliated at home with his friends, and that would be bad, of course. However, you have AI, artificial intelligence. People are playing his humiliation that happens in the film. I don't want to spoil it. The humiliating incident that happens, it happens in public. So he's humiliated at home. So he's humiliated not by just his wife. The kids see it, the kids' friends see it at school. The whole thing, it's not good. But behind closed doors, and sometimes in front of closed doors, it gets to the point where it's scary. Because we're living in a time now, and something happened. This is Thursday, August the 27th. On the news today, there was a lot of current events that may have affected this attendance of this film. It wasn't well received. Tonight was an early access night. Maybe more people will see it this weekend. However, when you put out a film, you don't know what's going to happen in the news. And I think there's a part of the film where they do threaten each other. So I think that might have hurt the film a little bit because hardly anyone was there. The people who were there, they did laugh a little bit, but there were some jokes that felt kind of dry. And I think they really were not in the mood to see that type of violence right now. That's my personal opinion. When I talked to a few people, they said they weren't going to watch it again. Theo and Ivy, like I said, they just have such evil banter. And even in the old one, Kathleen Turner, Michael Douglas, their banter was evil too. But somewhere within that 2 hour framework, and I'm saying roughly 2 hours, I don't remember exactly how long the older movie was, but you felt genuine affection and love. And in this picture, I saw more banter than I did them kissing and hugging and being affectionate toward each other. They meet at a restaurant, and it seems like it's within a moment or so they're having sex, but we don't see that. It's off camera. It's like in a big refrigerator in the restaurant, wherever it is. But my point is, you don't really see any real affection between them. You know, they just meet in a restaurant and now they're getting married. They're moving to America and they're getting married. While I love both of these actors individually, actually the whole cast is very good. They gave a great performance. I have to say though, I'm not sure they had the correct chemistry for lovers. In marriage, you're lovers as well. In a traditional marriage, let's say that. And I didn't feel that chemistry. However, their jokes and banter was fantastic. I thought it was great. But I think if you're going to see this film, you're going to see them because you love the stars and not because of the banter or the dry jokes. I think that's why you would see this film. But I want to mention to you about the original film that was made from the novel back in 1989. And that film starred Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner and Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito directed that particular version. So well done. If you ever get a chance to watch that picture, you must pick it up or stream it, whatever your favorite venue is as far as entertainment. But it's a very beautiful film about the roses, about the deterioration of the marriage and the deterioration of the couple as individuals. It's devastating and it's heartbreaking. And one touching point in that film, you will see a maid. And to me, I empathize with the maid. She's working for the Roses since they were this poor couple who had nothing to 20 years later, they have a couple of children. The Roses have twins. The Roses have accumulated so much wealth and so many material things. And she's been with them for, I guess, what is that, 18 or 20 years. And she sees that something bad is going to happen to this couple. They're fighting to such a vicious degree. And she says to them, to Kathleen Turner character and to the Michael Douglas character, that's the Roses, Mr. and Mrs. Rose. She said, will one of you please come out of the house? Because she fears what's going to happen if they both stay. She begs them, please, would one of you just come out with me? Just walk with me out the house. She loves these people. She's their employee, yes, of course, but she's has some level of affection because she's been with them so long. And she's seen the good times, and now she's seen the worst of the worst. All right, so that film is a must see. And that was not the first collaboration, just a little bit of trivia. Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas have collaborated on several films. My favorite collaboration is Romancing the Stone. Yeah, it is. And that's because they had this wonderful music with Alan Silvestri. He did the music for Romancing the Stone. And this one scene in particular where they do the big romantic kiss. Ah, fireworks go off. It's just wonderful. Ah, okay. So, anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the film. You can tell me which one you enjoyed better. Once you see them both, you can form an opinion. People often ask me whenever there's a remake or a reboot, which film was better. I will sometimes answer it, but the best answer I can ever give you, when an artist reboots a film or redoes it, they're not better necessarily than the other one. They're just different. And we have a different theatrical atmosphere now. Years ago, you didn't have this streaming services and all this competition from content producers who were just basically reflecting real life drama. This film, The Roses, is updated to the point, well, it will show you what happens to a couple who accumulate so much to the point where it becomes more important than their marriage. At least that's the way I look at it. All right? So let me know what you think. Until we meet again, it's Renee Stanley for Movie Review Relay. God bless.